Western Europe has, for good or ill, been a central part of the last few centuries of world history. Several of its nations controlled vast empires, both in Europe and across the world, and the area is still one of the world's wealthiest. But Western Europe's borders have been far from static, and quite a few countries have disappeared from the region's map, even in recent history. We're going to take a look at those countries, including some you likely have never heard of. Let's explore. We're going to follow the definition of Western Europe given by Eurovac, maintained by the European Union. According to this definition, Western Europe includes the modern countries of Andorra, Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Ireland, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Monaco, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom, with nearby dependencies like the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man. Now, Germany, with its many little Holy Roman Empire states, could fill an entire video by itself, so we're actually going to do that. Expect to see Germany's forgotten countries in the near future. We'll also save other nearby countries like Spain, Portugal, and the Nordic countries for another time. Speaking of time, this video will stay after the final defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1815, because he personally really messed up the map. If you want to see Napoleon's forgotten countries sometime, let me know in the comments. Starting in Ireland, there's the Irish Republic, declared provisionally in the 1916 Easter Rising, and more formally in 1919. The UK, none too pleased about their uppity Irish subjects, decided in response to split the island of Ireland into Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, with the intention that both would remain part of the UK. Though Northern Ireland is a constituent country of the UK to this day, Southern Ireland basically flopped. Instead, the 1921 Anglo-Irish Treaty set up a provisional government to transition Ireland into an autonomous Irish Free State within the British Empire, similar to places like Canada or Australia at the time. Northern Ireland was allowed to opt out of the Irish Free State, which it promptly did, and the Free State lasted until a new constitution in 1937 and the abolition of the monarchy in 1948, becoming Ireland the republic we know today. As a bonus, there are the Irish Soviets, workers' councils that went about seizing the means of production across Ireland during the Revolutionary period. The most significant was the Limerick Soviet, which ran the city of Limerick for a little under 2 weeks in April 1919, and even printed its own money, though it never separately declared independence. Great Britain in the past 2 centuries has been pretty stable, despite some close calls, but before we leave these isles, we'll mention the Channel Islands, the bailiwicks of Jersey and Guernsey, which today's British monarchs still rule not as part of the UK, but as part of the Duchy of Normandy, the ancestral French lands of William the Conqueror. And that brings us on to France. France has gone through quite a few different governments since the fall of Napoleon, going through Bourbon monarchy, Orléans monarchy, brief republic, empire under Napoleon's grandson Napoleon III, longer-lived republic, Nazi puppet, provisional republic, restored republic, and newly remodeled republic. Despite this, European France's recent list of truly forgotten countries isn't terribly long. There's the Kingdom of Sardinia-Piedmont, most of which became part of Italy, but its western bit was ceded to Napoleon III in 1860, in exchange for France's support of Italian unification. Related are the free cities of Menton and Roquebrune, which were part of Little Monaco before declaring independence in 1848 under Sardinia-Piedmont's protection, leaving behind the minuscule Monaco we know today. The cities became part of Sardinia-Piedmont itself the next year in 1849 and were part of the land ceded to France. Like Ireland, France also had its own communist cities, proclaimed in 1871 after France's defeat in the Franco-Prussian War. Most famous is the Paris Commune, which lasted from March through May 1871, before the city was taken by the French Third Republic. There were several other copycat communes across France, the most enduring one in Marseille lasting about 11 days. Finally, we have the Free Republic of Vercors, declared by the French resistance during World War II. Moving on to the Low Countries, we have the United Kingdom of the Netherlands, under which William I ruled modern Belgium and the Netherlands as a single entity, as well as Luxembourg as a separate but related polity. This arrangement lasted from 1815 to Belgium seceding from the kingdom in 1831, taking a chunk of Luxembourg with it. This angered the German Confederation, of which Luxembourg was a member, so in the 1839 treaty finalizing Belgium's borders, a chunk of the Netherlands called the Duchy of Limburg joined the German Confederation as compensation, while simultaneously remaining Dutch territory. Also, a little piece of land known as neutral Moresnet, home to a valuable zinc mine, which had been governed jointly by the Netherlands and Prussia since Napoleon's defeat, switched to being governed jointly by Belgium and Prussia, remaining so when Prussia became part of a united Germany in 1871. The mine was depleted in 1885, and after Germany was defeated in World War I, neutral Moresnet was fully annexed by Belgium, along with neighboring Eupen-Malmedy. In Switzerland, there's the Sonderbund, literally meaning separate alliance, formed by 7 Catholic Swiss cantons in 1845 within the Swiss Confederation. The Swiss Federal Diet declared the Sonderbund unconstitutional in 1847, leading to a brief civil war that November. The war ended in a victory for the Federal Diet, with likely under 100 dead on both sides together, and led to the dissolution of the Sonderbund and the formation of the modern federal Swiss government. Little Liechtenstein has just been hanging around in the Alps since Napoleon disbanded the Holy Roman Empire, of which it was a member state. Similarly, Andorra has been hanging around in the Pyrenees, though a Russian guy named Boris Kosarev did try to take over the throne in 1936. So that leaves Austria, which like France has had quite a few different governments over the past 2 centuries, starting with the Habsburg-ruled Austrian Empire, which in 1867 reorganized itself as the dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary. After Austria-Hungary's defeat in World War I in 1918, a few self-declared states popped up. Vorarlberg, the westernmost state of Austria today, held a referendum to join Switzerland and may have declared independence in the process, but though the result was an overwhelming yes, Switzerland didn't actually let them join. On the other side of Austria, 2 countries were declared on the border with Hungary, those being the Austria-aligned Republic of Heinzenland and the Hungary-aligned Leitha-Banság, both of which were short-lived. As for the main part of Austria after World War I, it was governed in order by a self-declared republic that tried to join with Germany, an Entente-imposed republic banned from joining Germany, a dictatorship that after much conflict did join Germany, an occupied government from the powers that defeated Germany, and finally, today's Austria, which is also forbidden from joining Germany, but it hasn't really come up. We'll round out the video with a few fun micronations. The self-declared Principality of Sealand, built on an abandoned naval platform off the British coast, the global state of Waveland declared by Greenpeace on the UK-claimed islet of Rockall, the Republic of Kugelmugel in a spherical building in Vienna, and the Republic of Sauget in eastern France, which started as a joke and is still going strong 75 years later. There are plenty more micronations out there. This is just a fun little sample. So across Western Europe, these sundry states show that even stable-seeming sections of the globe are stocked with historical surprises, and understanding them can tell us a lot about how the world works today. Be sure to share your feedback in the comments, and subscribe to see more like this, including that Germany video. And as always, thanks for watching.